Welcome in and happy Friday. It's time for our weekly numbers. Dad's across from me. I'm Hudson, and that's John on the couch over there from VO Marketing Pro. So as we always do, we'll talk about how much money we made on our platforms, direct email marketing. We'll also talk about maybe some of the happenings that occurred this week. So anyway, as we always do, we start out with John from VO Marketing Pro to let us know how their direct email marketing for voiceover talents like us who come and use our service, how they did this week. So, butterfly.
Yep. 51 warm responses this week. Nice.
That's in the 50s.
Can you remind, maybe for people who are new, what do we consider a warm response?
Yep. So we're pretty, excuse me, we're pretty subjective, or not subjective, we're pretty liberal with those. I'll give you a few ideas. So sometimes people will say, I'll keep you in mind, or, I might have a project coming up here soon. I'll check back with you when I'm ready.
We'll keep you on our list.
We'll keep you on our list.
What are your rates?
What are your rates? Stay in touch.
Audition.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it anything?
It's anything that's like a favorable.
Anything that's not, please take me off your list, or no response.
Or nothing. I wouldn't even put a warm response as, we don't have anything. Well, I do put on, like if somebody says, we don't have anything at the moment, but we'll keep you in mind. But if they say, no, we don't have anything, and they leave it at that, then I don't
we don't use voiceover.
Yeah, I don't put that as a warm response. I will still contact them if they don't say, we don't use voiceover. If they just say, no, we don't have anything at the time. But it's like, okay, circle back, 3-6 months later. So anyway, I just wanted, for people, we might have some new people.
Yeah, and that's what we share with, from the people that we work with, that's what we share with them. We share the contact then with them, and then it's your job to stay in front of that contact 3, maybe 4 times out of the year. So that's how many we received this week. And again, just because Hudson brought up the fact that some people might be new, we just there's some that are from a couple weeks out that we receive a response from that video production company. So it's all that we receive in the week that we're currently in. That's the warm response that we get.
So what he's saying is basically people have been sending out emails for, 6 months, 2 months, a year and a half. And it could have been from January of last year that somebody sent an email out. And those people are just replying to that. But it came in this week. So that's what he's referring to. They could have even sent out this week and it came in this week.
Correct.
It's what?
That's usually a good portion of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 51, and then we had 9 auditions.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's another one coming in from that we'll be adding to next week. I'm not confirmed. It's not confirmed, but I think it's for some females on the list, on the roster. So
nice.
We won't count those until we get them for sure. And then I have 8 jobs reported. We got Kimberly Young with a recurring, Deanna Johnston, Lauren Gobus with 2.
Of course. She always strikes with 2, it seems like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Noel Romano, that was recurring as well.
Nice. Gold.
Tyler Boss with a recurring.
Gold.
Hudson Barsness.
Recurring.
Gold.
And then Todd, meaning Dad, with a new job. And we only put dads on the list if it's from a new client. So that, I believe my math is correct. 8?
8. That's right on the money. Yes.
So yeah, cold calls are made.
Andy sent out
well
emails.
Over 600 emails, I believe. I can't remember what I posted. It's not good.
It's all right.
But several hundred emails were sent out on behalf of the roster. So we're going at it, and we'll keep going at it.
If people want to get information about VO Marketing Pro, where do they go?
So you can contact us either at Joe Barsness at VO Marketing Pro or John Barsness at VO Marketing Pro. I will say that's kind of the easiest way to get started. We do have a phone number. Contact us. We'll do our best to pick up if we can or get back with you. But we like to ask some questions first before we kind of start to get the ball rolling and just get an idea as to where you're coming from and where you're at in your VO career. And so that email is kind of helpful to get things started. But we're not opposed to jumping on a phone call.
And those will be on the screen. Demond will flash them by, so you can pause it or check it out there. So anyway, Thanks, Johnny,
Mm.
for bringing those.
week.
If you ever have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. You can email them, or you can email us. So we're here to help as much as we can. So we'll go on to my number. This week, I had 7 projects. I'm going to start doing that too.
Okay.
All together, 7 projects in total for voiceover this week. That doesn't sound like a lot, and it wasn't. So I had one direct email marketing client come back to me. They've used me 3 times in the last month, so that's great. I hope they continue to do that. $125. And then I had 3 Upwork jobs for a total of $328.50. Then I had 3 Fiverr jobs for a total of $88.80. Funny story there. I had a recurring client on Fiverr set up an order and said that the client on their end had changed the script and wanted me to do it over. So they were going to pay me $40, set up the order and everything like that, and then they canceled it. And I was like, uh-oh, which whatever. But they said that they had just gotten news like 2 hours later that the client was actually happy with how I had read it. Interesting. Anyway, they canceled it. So I am going through the Fiverr support to see if they can keep that from hurting my my profile, because I've been working hard at taking $8 jobs to try and get myself back to some better paying jobs and stuff like that. Anyway, I didn't have any jobs on Voice 123. The search is still going. I had 5 warm responses this week and 1 audition. And then I did 5 hours of editing for Dad. Do it for $20 an hour. So $642.30. If you've been watching me, I have been trying to get $750 a week in voiceover and editing. And I just checked out today that I am averaging above that for the whole year, which is awesome on average. So hopefully I continue to do that, and I will hit my goal for the end of the year. And yeah, that would be exciting.
One of the reasons that I kind of encouraged you to have that goal is last year your goal was $500 per week.
Yes, it was.
This year was $750. And one of the reasons I did that was because I thought it was attainable, yet it wasn't so far out there that it would discourage you. Like, well, I want you to make $2,500 a week. Well, you're basically your second year in. That's not easy to do. But I also kind of had a method to my madness, and that was that if you get to $750, that's right around $40,000 a year, which is, according to NAVA, National Association of Voice Actors, that puts you in the 25 percentile of voiceover actors, what they make a year, which is $40,000. 75% make $40,000 or less.
Yes.
So if you make $40,000.01, you're in the 25 percentile. So we're cheering you on,
I know,
hoping you get to the 25 percentile.
I sure hope so too. Next year, as the year rounds out, I'll probably jump to $1,000 a week. So and that'll be, of course, $52,000 if I can do that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I had one new client who was kind of interesting. I worked with this certain client out in California probably 10 times over the last 3 or 4 years. He came back. His end client then contacted me privately and said, we have a bunch of other videos to do. Do I have to work through so-and-so? And I said, well, that's up to you. If you want to work with me, I do that all the time. Or if you want to work with him, go for it. He decided to work specifically with me. I don't think it's going to be any more money. It's just they're going to produce the videos themselves, evidently. So, so I had that. So that was kind of through a recurring client, but it's a new client. I had a slow week again. Upwork was 0. I probably did maybe 7, 8 proposals, maybe more. Fiverr was decent. I had 11 jobs on Fiverr for $1,113, and direct email marketing was $3,050, and I had 12 projects. So I had 22 projects this week for a total of $4,163.25. $4,163.25. You know, I don't know if you have something else to talk about, but I was going to just share this with you, just because I think sometimes if you go back through the numbers the last couple of years we've been giving them, you're going to find that my numbers seem to be like, wow, I wish I had those kinds of numbers. And he never really seems to have a bad week. And, the last, 2-3 months, it's been below average. And so I've had to do some talking to myself, have to work on my mindset. And what I was thinking about is Hudson, and maybe you know this already, he's a very good baseball player. He plays in a decent college level home talent league. I mean, they're all grown men, but it's a decently high level of baseball. And he led the league this year for the second year in a row with hitting at almost 600, hitting almost 600. And I think sometimes about myself as a voiceover talent who has had success for quite a few years, and you as a baseball player, as a hitter, if you start to kind of see your numbers just go down a little bit, how do you deal with that mentally? What do you do? Do you right away say, well, I got to get a coach, or I've got to just totally reinvent my swing? How do you think through that? Kind of put you on the spot.
Probably just like you said. Well, yeah, I probably just believe in myself and my past experience that I can draw on, that I've spent lots of time. I'm a good hitter. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm in a slump.
Yeah, right. Right.
But to believe in yourself that you're going to get out of it, because, and if you don't, you're going to be okay, because barring any injuries or something, next year could be a record year.
Yeah.
So anyway, keeping that.
Exactly it. Yeah.
Probably trying not to think, especially as a baseball player, not thinking too much. Because once you start thinking too much, you start changing things, and then you're not just kind of
you get in your own head, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you've got a simple plan that works, you have to work that plan. And it's not that you don't. I watched you. Sometimes you'll say, well, I got to, whatever. I don't even know. Sure. I got to get my hands up higher, keep my hands up higher. I got to be more selective. There's little tweaking that you do. It's not like you just go, oh, I'm fine. You continually think about it. You don't overthink about it. You don't flail, especially, because then all of a sudden, the things that have made you so successful all your career, then those are like thrown out the door. And it's like, no, you can't have that much success year after year after year without having things right.
Yeah.
Basically right. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm doing. Hey, here's another thing real quickly. So I was telling Jonathan ran my Fiverr account and still kind of does. But I've had this one client. He might be the best client we've had on Fiverr. But this is what happens when you're having a slow week or a slow time. It's hard to get wins sometimes. And I lost 2 auditions on Fiverr. You think Fiverr? You should be winning those all the time. Well, 2 people turned me down and went with somebody else. I don't know about this second one.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But this person in particular, I've probably done well over 50 projects with them. Usually they just send me a script and I just bust it out. Same read style. They're happy with it. They don't even say anything. I don't know if I've ever had them come back and say, hey, this needs to be changed. Well, this time he had this long script. It was a $2,000 job and it was 80 minutes. So it was $20 a finished minute. So kind of an e-learning type job. Well, I decided to send him some information about pronunciations and I thought, well, 80 minutes, I'll just send him a sample. He got back and said, well, that's not really what we're looking for. Deeper, more authoritative. So I gave him a deeper, more authoritative thing. He said, well, it's still not where I want it to be. I'll circle back to you next week. I'm thinking, I've heard that language before. He's on Fiverr or somewhere else looking for somebody else. That's just the way it is sometimes.
Hopefully he comes to me.
Well, the thing is, I was thinking in my mind, okay, so I made 4,100 this week. Next week I'm starting out with 1,600 right away. So it's going to be a good week. Well, now, who knows? So guess what? I go back to beating the bushes. I keep working at, taking some jobs on Upwork. I keep thinking about maybe I should just tweak my Fiverr price just to $5. Keep having Andy send out direct email marketing, but don't flail.
I was going to say one last thing as we close here. You were talking about how you sent out 7 or 8 proposals this week on Upwork. Just for people who are new to direct email marketing and stuff like that, I looked at my 2023 stats for how many proposals I've sent out, how many were viewed, and then how many jobs I booked.
For Upwork.
Yes. And I've sent out like 561 proposals this year, 9 months and 15 days. And then 328, I think, have been open, so a little more than half. Mm-hmm. And I've booked 33 jobs. Some of them have been recurring, of course. But just to let you know the numbers and getting used to rejection.
So you book about 10% of your jobs that get open.
Yeah.
which isn't bad. That's not a
No,
bad. I
uh-uh.
mean, that's
But
not
just
terrible,
for people who
but
are getting
yeah,
in,
right.
just understand that
Yeah.
it's kind of the same process in at least Upwork for me.
It is in Fiverr,
so
too, yeah.
it's just don't think that direct email marketing is different. Just it's the same. And that was just like, oh, that's good to see that everywhere it's like that kind of. So just keep that in mind.
I
Anyway,
appreciated you telling us about your numbers, where
Yeah.
you're at. I like to hear that, keep track of that, and let people hear your numbers. And second of all, the Upwork thing is interesting. Very
Yeah.
good.
yeah. Well, thank you for watching our numbers video. If you want to watch more videos like this, they are in their own playlist labeled numbers. So if you have questions, let us know, and we'll see you later.